I like to keep that stuff private, man. I'm a human being first, and obviously living in this public sphere, there's just a lot of questions about what's going on in the world of Kyrie, and I think I just would love to just keep that private and handle it the right way with my team and go forward together with the plan. So, obviously I'm not able to be present there today, but that doesn't mean that I'm putting any limits on the future of me being able to join the team. And I just want to keep it that way.
Back is definitely, against the wall. But I'm just gonna keep fighting for what I believe, and whether it's one thing or another, get the vaccination or not get a vaccination, who knows? I'm just gonna, keep fighting for what I believe, and what I believe is right. What's right to one person isn't right to the other, vice versa.
I've made my position clear on the importance of the COVID-19 vaccine on many occasions. From the perspective of personal health, public health, even from the perspective of doing what needs to be done to win a championship. But fine, if you don't want to hear from me on it anymore, and if you don't want to hear from damn near 100% of doctors and scientists and epidemiologists either, then how about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? How about that? Does that work for you? Yesterday, Kareem, on CNN with Don Lemon, said, quote, the NBA should insist that all players and staff are vaccinated or remove them from the team. There is no room for players who are willing to risk the health and lives of their teammates, the staff, and the fans simply because they are unable to grasp the seriousness of the situation or do the necessary research. End quote. So we're going to question Kareem Abdul-Jabbar too? You going to get at him now? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, really? A man who is about as unimpeachable as they come? A six-time champion, not counting his titles in college, a six-time league MVP, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, a man who was and remains at the forefront of civil rights, a man whose intelligence has always been respected, just as much as his game. We're going to get at Kareem now, huh? You really think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of all people, is going to be advocating for NBA players who are primarily black, to do something that is unsafe or could actually harm them? You really think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would do that, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a privacy issue. Players need to stop saying it's private. I'm sick of it. Just admit you didn't get the jab. Admit you haven't done any damn research. You've had almost 2 years now. 2 years. What's the holdup? Acting like you're in a damn lab somewhere. You're on a text chain with other teammates who also are not epidemiologists, sharing what can only be deduced as utter nonsense. But that's just me. That's just me saying that. You know what? I said I'd trade you. I'd trade an unvaccinated player right now. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, y'all should be out of the league. Removed from your team or any other team. Kareem said that. Y'all might want to think on that. And then consider when it's ever been right to be on the opposite side of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hell.
Oh, my Lord. First of all, if you a king, what the hell you got on your pajamas, your shorts on, sitting there like that for? Especially when you addressing a grown man, which would happen to be me. That's number one. Number two, if you're a king, you're supposed to have the answers as opposed to asking me questions. But that's neither here nor there. What I would tell you is the answer to that could be possibly yes. Because if you've got cats that either are unvaccinated, all right, and therefore potentially ineligible to play, or somebody comes down with COVID at a key pivotal moment, particularly come playoff time, it could be problematic for all parties involved. You never know who is going to catch it. Remember, Russell Westbrook came down with it before he arrived in the bubble last year. We got Kyrie Irving that didn't show up to media day because he's unvaccinated. Andrew Wiggins, obviously, as you saw earlier, he's making that decision. Although 90% of the league is vaccinated, you don't know who's in that 10 percentile that hasn't been vaccinated. We'll find out who it is, make no mistake about it, because contrary to what they're saying, it is not a private matter. Your personal medical records are a private matter, but it ain't private for us to know whether or not you got COVID or not when you've got the potential to contaminate somebody else. Hell with that. So I ain't going for that at all. And obviously, it does have the potential to derail a championship contender. I don't think it'll happen, but you can't rule it out. Appreciate the call. Pawan, you're up next. What's up?
Who's winning the championship in the NBA this year? Who you got? I got the Lakers, man.
I got the Lakers going up against the Brooklyn Nets with the title on the line. And the Brooklyn Nets winning the chip. I just think too much offensive firepower, too much efficiency, not to mention the fact they're efficient at the free throw line as well. I think it's going to be that kind of game. I don't think anybody in the West is beating a healthy Los Angeles Lakers squad. They won't get there if they're unhealthy, and we know with LeBron at 36, Melo at 37, Russell Westbrook at 32, going on 33, they're an older roster, and we understand that. But if they are healthy, nobody should be able to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference. And I'd say the East as well outside of Brooklyn. But Brooklyn is a monster offensively. I don't think you have an answer for those three, meaning Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, unless one of them gets hurt. If they're healthy, they should be the favorites to win the chip, not the Lakers. Appreciate it. Let's go to Lucas. What's up, man?
With the NBA season coming around the corner, do you think Steph Curry can ever enter the GOAT conversation?
Well, let me tell you this. Steph Curry is already in a GOAT conversation. Steph Curry at this moment in time is the greatest shooter God ever created. He's in that GOAT conversation right now. He is the greatest shooter of all time. I believe because of his marksmanship prowess, he's one of the great point guards of all time because of the profound impact he has on the game of basketball. You literally have to defend him 40 feet away from the basket. That forces a defense to come out and defend you. And his movement without the basketball forces you to keep your head on a swivel, which opens up offensive opportunities for the other people around him. As a result of that prowess, that makes him an individual that belongs in the conversation because of his prowess. In the end, he's nothing. He's nowhere in that conversation when it comes to defense. That much is true. And because of that, you'd have to look at the MJs of the world, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars of the world, the LeBron James of the world, etc. But he's already the greatest shooter. And because of his sniper-like marksmanship, he's already one of the great point guards in NBA history. So in the conversation, yes. But will he ever be the GOAT overall? No. Brandon, you're next. What's up?
I want to know what you have to say to Dave Gettleman right now, because, I think he should be fired. He's done a